Hey guys, welcome back. All right, we're going to continue our thought process on telling you things that your realtor may not tell you. So today, let's talk about how much does it cost to rent versus how much does it cost to actually own your own home, and which is better.
Right. So traditionally, we've heard that buying a house is better, financially speaking. Let's look at the numbers and then we'll let you guys decide for yourselves. So we did this based on Hoover, Alabama, because there was lots of information from different sites and sources that talked about, home ownership and pricing there, also versus renting an apartment and houses.
Right.
So I want to go through those so we can kind of talk through that and see what prices are you actually paying. Okay, the first one we're going to talk about is buying a home in Hoover, Alabama. And on average, the home costs are about $420,000. Of course, you can find one more or less expensive. As we talked about before, a down payment on a conventional loan is roughly 5%. And as of today, interest rates are 6.09. Of course, again, subject to change. So based on that, the monthly payment would be just over $2,500 if you were purchasing a home. All right, now, based on renting apartments in Hoover, Alabama, we look to see a 1 to 2 bedroom could be at $1,250 or above. If you're looking at a 3-bedroom apartment, you're looking at paying over $1,500. So if at general onset, if you're looking at it, it does look as though you might be paying less for an apartment than you would if you were buying a home. So let's go on to home rentals. All right, so now we're going to talk about renting a home, which would be different than renting an apartment. So you have a little bit more room and space and different things like that. So if you're looking at a 3 to 4 bedroom home rental in Hoover, Alabama, you're paying between $2,000 and $2,300 a month. So what we wanted you guys to know is that if you're renting a home in Hoover, you are literally just about paying the same amount that you would if you were actually owning the home and paying your mortgage payment. All right, so of course, everybody wants to know, what's my all-in money? Because that makes a big difference when we're trying to decide what we're going to purchase. So if you are looking at a rental, generally you're looking at first and last month's rent, and then, depending on the place, they might require some other things. So that could be somewhere in the neighborhood of $2,000 to $4,000 upfront cost before you move into a rental. If you were going to purchase a home, we have told you guys in the past, you've got your down payment, you've got your closing cost. So if you had a $420,000 house, you're looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of $20,000 for the down payment, another $8,000 or so for closing. So somewhere in the neighborhood of $30,000 that you would need up front to purchase a home. Obviously, those are two different numbers and they're significantly different, but let's talk about the pros and cons of each of those. So long-term benefit of owning versus renting. Well, if you're renting, 100% of everything that you pay goes to someone else. So you're not building equity, you're not building a long-term future.
And your rent actually can go up.
True.
Year after year or term after term.
Right.
So it's not going to be stable for multiple years, most likely. When you're buying a home, you might have to have more money up front, but every time you make a monthly payment, part of that payment is actually going toward your investment.
Yes.
That's a piece of property that you own.
Right.
And so it's not that much at first. Most of it is interest, but some of it is going to pay down that principal. Here's what that means. In Hoover, the average appreciation, of course, if you take care of the home and maintain it, average appreciation is going to be 4 to 6% per year.
Right.
That means that if you buy a home at $420,000 in this is an example, you will pay maybe in 5 years a little bit off the principal, but if you go to sell it, it's yours to sell. And so that home 5 to 6 years later should be worth an additional 4 to 6% per year.
Right.
And that's how your money grows. So pros and cons. You need more money up front to buy a home.
Right.
Typically when you buy a home versus renting a single family home, the monthly payments are close to the same.
Right.
But when you rent, you're not building any equity, and year after year or lease term after lease term, in most cases, the lease, the amount that you pay for rent goes up each time. So if you're renting, you may already be paying the cost of a mortgage, but you just don't get any other benefits.
So, if you have any questions, if you've been thinking about purchasing a home in the Birmingham area, we would love to help answer any questions that you have. You can reach out to us at 205-368-5995 or info@mbbrownrealty.com. We are Mike and Brandy Brown with Keller Williams in Birmingham, and we will catch up with you guys soon.